When we think of Ethmostigmus, we think of the species E. rubripes or E. trigonopodus, or however they say it. Of course, there are many more species in the genus, but these two are generally the most common ones in the centipede keeping hobby. What if I told you there's another species that gets very sizable, but is still not as known as the other species? E. rubripes platycephalus. Found only in the Solomon Islands, the species of centipede thrives along with its distant cousin, the Scolopendra metuenda. Being the Solomon Islands, their temperatures and humidity stay relatively tropical. I keep basil here at a room temperature, with misting every few days after it dries up a bit. Although they thrive in high humidity, like any centipede, proper ventilation is crucial. When I first purchased basil, care for these guys was very hard to find. Reading online, I found another caretaker that told me that they like it very humid, with moist substrate. This ended up backlashing a bit, since later on, basil developed a patch of mycosis on his suture. I changed his entire setup, took away most of the burrowing substrate he had, and left him with only a quarter of what he had, which sounds rhetorical to the whole care of the species, considering that they love to burrow, and with proper care, you will almost never see them. But I did this because I realized that the mycosis could have been slowed down sooner had I seen the spots beginning to form. So my intention with less substrate was to be able to see him more. The substrate he is kept in right now consists of a very naturalistic setup: natural topsoil, play sand, leaf litter, and shreds of sphagnum. Using the power of the internet, I decided to inspect the land that these inconspicuous guys thrived in. I had realized that the soil there seemed denser than what I had imagined. It reminded me of the substrate in Puerto Rico, very clay-like and hard. When wet, it sucked up moisture, but it was still fairly dense. I also had realized that these guys, using a naturalist, were found in sandy places. So I tried my best to recreate something as close to their natural home, using a comparison of Puerto Rico. I added 3 rows of ventilation holes and made 0 holes in the lid to keep more humidity in there. Considering the species gets larger than what I would consider normal, I keep it in a tub. There isn't a straightforward answer to how large these guys can get. I've read 10 to 11 inches, but I'm not sure. Basil currently sits at roughly 8.5 inches. Only time and feeding will tell how big these guys can truly get. Feeding, I recommend offering both live and cut food. I feed mine pre-killed discoids every 4 days, no problem. Venom potency, I would say that I am honestly not sure. Again, there isn't really enough information on these guys for almost everything. Everything I've said thus far has been my complete understanding and care. Considering how big their toxic cognants are, I wouldn't take the venom lightly. With that being said, keeping basil has made me realize a lot of things in terms of husbandry. Not everything that people tell you online is going to be correct, and the people that do tell you what's correct, it might not work for you depending on regions. I live in a place that humidity stays pretty consistent throughout the year, and it stays relatively warm throughout the year except in winter. So my room being room temperature all the time, I it stays 71, 72 degrees, 70 at lowest, and temperature stays pretty consistent. Humidity does change a tiny bit, but it doesn't change much in the room. Throughout the years, I've noticed that um, I started with having an intense fear of centipedes, living in Puerto Rico and lifting up rocks and stones to find little animals and creatures. Seeing a giant red centipede run towards your leg wasn't the funnest thing, and lifting up buckets to see what was underneath them, or more specifically, a very specific memory I remember having, is finding a bucket of, I guess it was compost, and I was sifting through it, and I noticed that the whole soil in the bottom of the bucket was moving. And mind you, this was a paint bucket. And I noticed that the bottom part of the bucket, like the base of it, had a bunch of legs just covering the entire roundabout of the bucket on the bottom. The centipede was holding onto most of the soil, which was very creepy. And the legs were humongous. I mean, back then I was like 7 years old, and the legs of the centipede were, I would say, as big as my fingers back then. So growing up in these environments, I mean, I grew up having fears of these guys. I mean, I would hear people saying that they would walk into to the garages and inside the house, and it would just be terrifying because these guys were huge, fast, and packed a punch with venom. And then now here I am. They're the main thing I want to work on, and I love these guys, and their behaviors are just so interesting. I love everything about them, from their morphology or whatever. Is that even a word? From their body to like how they act, everything about it is amazing. And I do plan on working with more. Currently, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centipedes. I used to have more, but I'm getting back into it. Don't worry, guys. I just have to take a little break to get my life back together, get back on my feet. I am a college student, so maybe keeping my hobby in the center of my life wasn't the best idea for a little bit. But now I'm gonna bring it back in because I'm definitely more ready. And I'm gonna be making more videos, obviously, especially next week. I have a big surprise coming in. It's a species I used to take care of before. It's one of the South American giants, and I can't wait to make a video on that one. And yeah, I have another video on the works with BMO, the Goliath bird eater, but it's taken me a little while because she doesn't want to eat it all, and I don't think she's in pre-molt, so I wonder what's going on. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys have more information on these guys, obviously I am very open to these type of things. I'm gonna open up the comment sections this time. I didn't open them last time, I forgot why, or if not, I just totally didn't remember to open them up. But I'm very open to information. If you guys have any more information on these guys, very, very open. And I am gonna change back to his old enclosure, not enclosure, but I'm gonna give him the proper substrate so that he has like 5 or 10 inches to just dig around and have fun, because these guys do love that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna be uploading a video. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be uploading a video next week on a little surprise I'm getting. I'll be doing an unboxing for that, and the following week after that, I'm already working on that video for the next week, but it's been hard because the bird eater doesn't want to eat whatsoever, and she's not in pre-molt as far as I know, so as far as I can tell. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a nice one. Peace.